In a small village, nestled right at the edge of a wide, green forest, there lived a boy named Ion. Now, Ion was 10 years old. He wasn't the strongest boy in the village, nor was he the tallest or the fastest. But Ion had something truly special. He had a kind heart. Every morning, Ion would help his mother fetch water from the well. Every evening, he'd feed the birds near his house. And every single night, he'd listen to his grandfather's stories about the forest. The forest is alive, his grandfather used to say, his voice a gentle whisper. Every tree, every animal, has a story to tell. And Ion, with all his heart, believed him. One early morning, Ion woke up even before the sun had stretched its golden arms across the sky. The air was cool, and the world was painted in soft pinks and purples. His mother called to him, "Ion, can you please take this basket of fruits to Uncle Ramesh? His house is just near the forest path." "Yes, Amma," Ion replied with a bright smile. He took the basket and began his walk. The birds were singing their morning songs, and the leaves rustled gently in the wind. The forest looked so peaceful. But then, suddenly, Ion heard a sound. Ee. It was a weak, frightened cry. He stopped walking. "Did you hear that?" he whispered to himself. And there it was again, closer this time. He followed the sound carefully, his curiosity mixing with a little bit of concern. Behind a cluster of thick bushes, he saw something move. His heart began to beat a little faster. Pushing the leaves aside, his eyes widened. There, stuck between sharp thorny branches, was a little deer. Its leg was caught, and a small wound was already forming. Tears filled its big, gentle eyes, and its whole body was shaking with fear. The forest was suddenly silent. No one else was around. A wave of fear washed over Ion. But then, he remembered his grandfather's words. When someone is in pain, the forest chooses a helper. Ion took a deep breath. "It's okay," he said softly, his voice barely a whisper. "I won't hurt you." The little deer tried to pull away, but it only cried out louder in pain. Ion looked at the sharp thorns. He knew they could cut his hands. He was scared, but he made a choice. He slowly took off his shirt and wrapped it around his hands for protection. Then, very carefully, he began pulling the thorns away, one by one. The deer whimpered. "I know it hurts," Ion whispered, "but I'm here. I'll get you out." Minutes felt like hours. Finally, with one last gentle tug, the final thorn came loose. The little deer fell gently onto the soft ground. It was free. Ion smiled, but his work wasn't finished yet. The deer's leg was bleeding. Ion ran to a nearby stream and filled his water bottle. He returned and cleaned the wound as gently as he could. Then, he tore a piece from his own scarf and carefully tied it around the leg like a little bandage. "Rest now," he said. Just then, he heard a sound behind him. Crunch, crunch. Ion spun around, his heart leaping into his throat. Standing between the trees was a big deer. Tall, strong, and silent. It was the little deer's mother. Ion's legs began to shake. He was sure she was angry. But the mother deer didn't move to attack. She looked at her child. Then she looked at Ion. Their eyes met for a long moment. And then, slowly, the mother deer lowered her head. It wasn't a sign of anger. It was a gesture of gratitude. The little deer stood up slowly and walked to its mother's side. Before they disappeared back into the trees, it turned and looked at Ion one last time. Ion waved. "Be safe," he said. Ion got home late. His mother was worried, but when he told her everything that had happened, she pulled him into a tight hug. "You are so brave," she said, her voice filled with pride. The next day, the entire village was talking about the boy who saved a deer. The other children looked at Ion with wide, admiring eyes. "You're a hero," they cheered. Ion just smiled. He didn't feel like a hero. He felt like a friend. Days turned into weeks. One night, a terrible storm rolled in. Dark clouds swallowed the sky, thunder roared, and rain poured down in sheets. Suddenly, there was a frantic knocking on their door. "Help! Help!" A forest guard stood outside, drenched and breathless. "A baby deer is hurt near the old bridge," he said urgently. "It's trapped. We need help." Ion's heart raced. He knew, he just knew. "I'll come," he said without hesitation. His mother looked worried, but then she nodded. "Be careful," she said. The path to the bridge was slippery and treacherous in the pouring rain. Near the broken part of the bridge, they found it. The same little deer. It had slipped, and its leg was caught again, unable to move. "It's the same one," Ion whispered to the guard. Carefully, they lifted the frightened animal and wrapped it in a warm cloth. All the way back, Ion stayed by its side, talking softly. "You're strong," he told it. "You will be okay." They brought the deer to a safe, dry shelter. By morning, the storm had passed. The little deer opened its eyes. It was alive. When the deer was strong and healthy again, the forest guard took it back to the woods to be released. Just like before, the mother deer appeared from between the trees. But this time, before they left, she stood perfectly still. The birds began to chirp, and the leaves rustled in a gentle breeze. It felt as if the entire forest was watching, holding its breath. Ion felt a warmth spread through his heart, a feeling he would never forget. From that day on, Ion helped animals whenever he could. He learned about nature, and he became a guardian of the forest. The villagers learned something important from him too. They learned that true bravery isn't about fighting or being the strongest. True bravery is about caring. They saw how even a child can change the world with kindness. And somewhere, deep in the green forest, a little deer ran freely and safely. All because one brave boy chose to help. Thanks for watching, and remember to spread a little kindness today.